Good morning and welcome to our garden class. We have Michelle here. She's an herbalist and acupuncturist, and she's going to be teaching us how to make an herbal salve. So thank you for joining us. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Michelle Champion. I'm the acupuncturist here on staff at Lake County Tribal Health, which is a great honor. I often think that I'm an herbalist before I'm an acupuncturist because of my lineage. And my lineage in herbalism is that I grew up in a big city, and then when my family got to go out into the desert or out into the Channel Islands down off the Southern California coastline, I just learned so much from the plants. And so my lineage as an herbalist starts with the plants. And then I learned a lot of Western herbalism, which is kind of a European descent. And the lineage there would be Juliette de Berkeley-Levy is the main root of the lineage of herbalism that I'm in, and she was a Romani gypsy, and then she taught Rosemary Gladstar, who is kind of considered the godmother or the grandmother of Western herbalism, modern day Western herbalism. And then one of her students was Donna doTERRA, who lives in Willits and had the Yarrow Women Herbal Apprentice Program. And I studied there and lived there and managed the gardens and was principal of the herb school and taught there for many, many years. That school has since closed and moved to, now it's the Central Valley Herbal Studies School down in Woodland. And they're still offering classes, so the lineage is still strong and going. And that was in Mendocino County. And then in 2004, I started acupuncture school in Koreatown in downtown Los Angeles and added another branch to my lineage, which was traditional East Asian herbalism, which is really now is the foundation for a lot of the philosophy of herbalism that I use. However, I apply that Eastern philosophy to the plants that are native here to California, just to this land that we're in. The floristic province extends down into Baja and up into Washington, the desert, the mountain, the coastal, and even into the ocean. I use a lot of seaweed medicine as well. So that's my lineage, and today I'm going to share some of that information that has been infused into my spirit with all of you with something called herbal salve making. And this is really something that I love because it's simple and it's a great way. Salves are a really great way to preserve medicine and to carry it with you and to have it on hand for when you need it. So what is an herbal salve? An herbal salve, it consists of a few things. It consists of the base is an oil. So you can have, this is an extra virgin olive oil. And then there's usually some kind of a hardener. So you can use a lot of different oils. You can use like almond oil, jojoba oil, sunflower oil, borage oil. We have some borage growing in the background over there. So the oil's the base, and then you infuse herbs into it. Today I have already infused some herbs, and we're going to make an infused oil. But mugwort, comfrey, borage, rose, lavender. I have some calendula here as well. This is one of the main herbs we'll be using today. You can infuse rosemary and salvia, sage into your oils, all kinds of different oils. Herbs can be infused into oils based on what you want to use the salve for, and salves can be anything from bug bites to bug repellents, healing salves, which we're going to do today, which heal anything from burns, cuts, scrapes, bumps, bruises. You can use herbs. We're going to infuse some mugwort, which I use both in body work, and I also make a dream balm or a dream salve that I infuse some other herbs in to enhance our dream life. You can make heart balms that you can literally rub over your heart to just kind of calm the heart and kind of give that heart an herbal hug energetically and from the chemical component, which is pretty cool. So you can do all kinds of, you can make salves for a myriad of different balances and imbalances. And then once you have the herbs infused into the oil, then you separate the oil out, which is what we're going to do today, and then you heat it up and you put in the hardener, which can be, we're going to use beeswax today, and you can also use coconut oil, lanolin is used sometimes, cacao butter, shea butter. There's a couple different hardeners that you can use to do that. And we use a hardener in the oil for a few reasons. One is because it hardens the salve, so you're not walking around with like a bottle of oil, which gets really messy, so it helps to kind of contain the medicine. Yeah, and so what do we do with these salves? We can rub them on our body to soothe and heal both the spirit and the body and the mind, which is really, just a gift. It's great medicine. So I have a whole bunch of things here, but what I want to start out with is I want to introduce to you some of the herbs that I have infused. I'm going to start with this one because I think it's really cool. This one is Hypericum perforatum. This is St. John's wort, and in your handout there's a couple of information on a couple of the different plants. This is St. John's wort. It's called Hypericum perforatum is its Latin name. And if anyone knows any other local names for it, please share with me. Sorry that I don't. But St. John's wort, Hypericum perforatum, those are the names I know that herb by. Hypericum perforatum, because the leaves, if you hold the leaves up to the sun, there's little perforations on the leaves, and so it lets the light in. And if you take this internally as a tincture, it helps to minimize depression that is like just when there's just darkness in the spirit. But when you put it on, when you infuse it into an oil and use it topically, it helps to calm the nerves. Hypericum is a great herb for burn healing salves, and for when you have nerve pain, nerve regeneration. It's great for like salves topically for different cancer and radiation, remediation and recovery. And then I also infused some lavender, which is an herb that more people are common with, or are familiar with. Lavender is just a really calming herb, and oftentimes you see it in essential oil. This is lavender flowers in extra virgin olive oil. And this one here is the trifecta. This one has Comfrey, Yarrow, and Calendula. So Calendula oil, these are the Calendula flowers. I'm just gonna, here they're a little aster. I'm gonna pass these around and you can kind of just feel them and touch them. When you harvest Calendula, you just pluck the flower and you put the whole flower in. Some people like to just take the petals and put it into the jar to put the oil in. But when you harvest the Calendula flower, you'll get like a little resin on your fingers, and your fingers get sticky. And the properties of the Calendula are that it helps to clean the lymph, which is really great when you have a bruise, a bump, a scrape, anything, because the lymph is like the rivers that clean the body, so it takes away cellular debris. Calendula is very soothing and kind of has this like not mucilaginous, but it has like that resin just kind of coats and soothes inflamed tissues. Calendula is really common in any natural baby skin products, and a lot of cosmetics. It's the base for a lot of cosmetics. We also have yarrow in here. Yarrow's Latin name is Achillea millifolium, because it has, the plant itself looks like it has a millifolium, a million little leaves or a million little feet on it. And Achillea, because Achilles, the Greek god, was said to have success in war because he cut his tendon and he got some of the yarrow, chewed it up and just packed it right onto there and went back into battle. And Yarrow is amazing. It's one of nature's band-aids because it's both antiseptic and antimicrobial. And it also helps with cellular regeneration, as does Comfrey. This is the Comfrey. Oh, I'm gonna send around a lavender. You can smell that, and the Comfrey, so you can kind of feel the Comfrey leaf and kind of get to just touch and know some of these plantitas.
Do you have any yarrow?
I don't have any yarrow with me right now. However, I do have a picture of it here, so you can kind of see those million little feet on that plant. Thank you for asking. Comfrey is an amazing plant. One of its common names is bone knit. It really does. It helps to knit bone. I had a friend who broke one of her metatarsals, and we made a Comfrey tea and soaked her foot in it, and then took the herbs from that and made a plaster and wrapped it around. Thank you. And so Comfrey's a great herb. And Comfrey just goes on and on. It heals ulcers. It's like just this amazing. It has a high mineral content. It's just an amazing herb. Comfrey, Yarrow, Calendula. So these are the herbs that we're going to infuse into our product today. So right now what's happening is I have the stove is set up and the flame is on, and I have a double boiler, which means that I have a pan that is sitting in some water boiling. So we're gonna use, this is a really cool tool right here. This is my herb press, and it's from, I didn't write down the resources, but this one is from lemans.com, Lehmans, lemans.com. And Lemans is a homesteading website, and that's where I got this. It's a cheese and fruit press, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna this is one of my favorite tools in tincture and salve and medicine making, because what we're gonna do. Oh, and these are paint bags that I got from the hardware store here in town. We're gonna put the herbs. We're gonna put the herbs into here, and then we're gonna so then we're gonna screw that down so that it presses the oils out of the herbs. And this is great. This is a cool. It looks really cool right now in a demonstration, but it's really great if you're like making medicine and you want to get every single last drop out. You'll be able to squeeze another 2 or 3 ounces out. And if you're making medicine as like a cottage industry business, this is really great because each ounce is probably, you can sell an ounce of tincture or salve oil for like $8 to $10. So you've got the jar and the oil and the herbs, and that's the money, the actual like product that goes into making it. So the more, and so it's great financially and it's great medicinally because you can get more medicine to share with the world. So really important. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to just pour this. So we have some infused herbs. I'm going to pour this lavender into there. Lavender infused oil. I'm pouring it into there. Oh yeah, you had a question.
What would you repeat? Lemans?
Oh, Lehmans.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and while I'm on resources, Lemans is a homesteading supply company, and then there's a couple other companies. Mountain Rose Herbs. Mountain Rose Herbs. I've actually harvested herbs and sold it to them. They're a really great, high ethical company. But they have herbs and all the different oils and all the different hardeners. They might not be the best place to buy the oils because they are kind of expensive. I've found great as olive oil. Try to go for the organic because you put it on your skin and you want your substrate to be medicine. But Grocery Outlet occasionally has really great deals on oils. So that was some of the lavender, and then I have the Comfrey. Oh, and then the other thing is that at the end we're going to put this infused oil with the hardener in it into little jars, and I get those at specialtybottle.com. So we have Specialty Bottle, Mountain Rose, and Lemans. Those are great resources. So I'm taking the lid off, and you see that I have this little cup in here. because it pushes the herbs down. I don't ever want, when I'm infusing an oil, I don't ever want the herbs to be touching the air, because they can rot and it will make your oil rancid. And you don't want that. You want your infusion. We are going to make an infusion, but I want to get started on pressing the oil so we can go through this.
So you don't dry your herbs prior to infusing them?
Great question. So infusing an herb, you can't. So hold on a moment. I want to just show him. Here's some of that, the yarrow with the millefolium with the million little feet on it. You see how there's like so many little tiny leaves on that? Millefolium, the million leaves. When infusing an herbal oil, you can use just dried herbs, or you can use fresh herbs. I recommend to let them wilt for a day, because the less water content in the oil, the less opportunity the oil has to spoil.
Right.
Great question. So I'm gonna just, whoops. So usually I have a tube that comes off of this. It didn't make it into the mix today. I don't know why.
Can I help you?
But yeah, maybe you could help me just hold this.
I think I missed the part on what is the hardener,
Oh,
and how does it incorporate into the infusion?
yeah, so the hardener is, we're going to use beeswax today, which Betsy actually gave me some beeswax, which I didn't have time to clean. Some fresh local beeswax, but I do have some local beeswax here from a friend who has farms. So the beeswax is just used as a hardener, and it does actually, just the bees in general, they have so much medicine in their wax, pollen, and so you could see that this oil is infused. When it is infused in, it's not as dark as I thought it was going to be. So I'm pressing this, and it's pressing, and it's starting. Do you want to hold this bottle there? Yeah. So now it's starting to like get a little tight. And if you don't have this milk bag, you can always use cheesecloth, or you can just strain it out by hand in a little strainer. Anything you have, you have strainers in your kitchen. I've at times have been a more professional medicine maker. So that's about as tight as I'm going to go, and I'm going to let this just drain out until it gets down to a drizzle. So there's that. Okay, thanks. Now you can let that just sit there. Yeah, perfect. And then I'm going to pull this out. So this is, we are pressing an herbally infused herbs here. So we're getting our oil ready. All right, so now, I'll just take this. Oops, you know what I forgot? Take the mark, it's called mark, M-A-R, I think it's an M-A-R-Q, and that is the spent herbs. These herbs have been spent, they're used, they've had the medicine taken out of them, so we'll put those into compost. And when I put them in, they were bright, and now they're not so bright. And then our next one that we're going to press out is the St. John's wort oil. And St. John's wort oil really is one of my favorite herbs for making salve for so many reasons. But one of the reasons is because...
Question.
Yeah.
Because are you going to mix those together?
I'm going to mix these together.
Okay, I was going to say, because would we normally change the bag?
Yeah, normally, that's a great question. Normally you would change the bag if you want to keep your oil separate, but I'm making the base for the salve that we're going to make today.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, so this is St. John's wort oil. One of the things in my lineage that's really important is that we work with lunar cycles, we work with the seasonal cycles. And so St. John's wort is really interesting because, like I said, it lets the light in, right? St. John's wort is usually at its peak. You want to harvest the herbs when they're at their peak, and you want to harvest them in an area where there's plenty so you could take some and leave some, and you want to harvest them in a place where they're not on the roadside, where there's not a lot of
Carbon
pollution
and-
or runoff.
Now, do you do the flowers or do you do the leaves? Do you do it all?
St. John's wort, I do the flowering tops, which gets some leaves into it. So now we can see that the oil is getting a lot darker. That's the thing I love about St. John's wort. You know it's St. John's wort when it has that kind of like reddish hue to it.
And how long do you leave it infused?
You infuse the herbs for a month, and you shake it every day. St. John's wort, I leave it in a window that gets a little bit of sun. But most herbs, I leave them in a shady, kind of dark, cool space, and I'll shake them like every other day. I'll go in and sing to them and shake them and just like spend some time with them. I usually have like
Work your arms
so
out,
much.
right?
Yeah, dance with it, get into it. Yeah, give it some love, pray over it. So we've pressed out our St. John's wort. Yeah, thank you. I think that was all the assistance I needed today. And I've already pressed out my calendula oil, and to be honest, I had another batch of calendula that actually went rancid, which is, I haven't had a batch go rancid in a long time. But you could see this, when I put this in, it was green and yellow. So you could see how much medicine has come out of the herb itself. So now we have pressed our oils.
Can you wash those bags and reuse them?
These bags are totally washable and reusable, which is set this over here and I'll wipe my hand off. So now we have our oil. This water is kind of this is a double boil. I have another set that I use only for medicine making of a double boiler, and it's glass, and it's really awesome because you can see the water at a slow, low boil. And this is a little bit hotter than I want it. So I have this, which is a diffuser. I'm going to put this underneath. See, this will diffuse the heat. It'll make the heat less on there. So I'm going to put that underneath there because this camp stove is not totally predictable. As you know, I can't get it down to the heat that I want. So there's water boiling in here. We're going to put the herbs in here, and we're going to put some of the hardener in there as well. Yeah. So let's see, where are we going with this? Oh yeah, and this is another batch of the Hypericum perforatum that I made. So you can see it's so dark red. It's like that was a good batch. It got a lot of that redness out. You can see, you can see the medicine in the oil in the base. So this is pretty amazing. This is the thing about like why when I introduce my lineage, the plants are the first ones that I learned from, because they exhale and inhale, and they have fluid that runs through their veins, and they have food and medicine, and just like we need the food and the medicine, the plants need us to be food and medicine for us. They actually want us to harvest and sing to them and to receive their gifts. It's their sole purpose, just like our sole purpose. How their sole purpose is to enrich our lives, and then by doing that, our lives are enriched, and then we can, create gardens and enrich their lives as well. It's really their family. It's a symbiotic thing. So really important. And then I'm also going to put this, like I said, this is some of the calendula that didn't spoil, right? I'm kind of what's called a simpler's herbalist. I don't really do too much math. I'm kind of like, okay, you fill the bottle, you cover it with oil, right? So I'm going to just top this off with some of it. And you can see that goldenness to the oil there. So the calendula oil So now in here, in our base oil, we now have Comfrey, Yarrow, Calendula, and what else?
Lavender.
Yeah. So this is our base oil, and then I have beeswax. This beeswax is from my friend down in. She's down in Woodland. So there's a couple different ratios that you can use of oil to wax. And 1 ounce of melted wax to a cup of oil, or 1/4 cup of shredded wax to a cup. So that's kind of the basic ratios. And this is that's in your notes there. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, so it was one ounce of wax to 5 cups of oil, 1 ounce of wax to 8 cups of oil, 1/4 cup of shredded wax to 1 cup of oil that's not melted, right? So there's you'll find all different kinds. So what we're going to do today, which is what I like to do because, right, I'm not very much of a math person. Just go with it because there's always a variation. So what I like to do is err on the side of caution, and we'll put less beeswax in to start, and then we're going to test the consistency of our salve, and if we like it, we'll go with it and we'll pour it out. If we're not into it, then we will add a little more oil or a little more wax, depending on which way we want to go with it. You can set your salve up to be really hard, or you could set it up to be really soft so that it's an ointment like Neosporin or something along those lines. Looks like we covered everything I wanted to cover. Any other questions before we get into the...
I didn't see the ratio, just the idea of the ratio again.
Oh, yeah. So the ratio, some ratios to work with would be 1 ounce of melted wax to 5 cups of oil, or 1 ounce of melted wax, or weight rather, 1 ounce of weight to 8 cups.
So the first one was 1 ounce wax
To 1 ounce of wax to 5 to 8 cups of oil. And then if you're not going to melt the wax, which we're gonna melt the wax in the oil today.
Yeah,
so we're gonna it's 1/4 cup of wax to 1 cup of oil is what we're gonna be working with.
Shred, right?
Yeah, that's the shredded. So
is there a temperature that you aim for?
that's a great question. So the temperature wise is why I use the double boiler, because I don't want to scorch the oil, because that would if you have water, or if you scorch your oil, or if you're using any rancid products, your salve is going to have a really short shelf life, and it likely will have some kind of a funky odor to it pretty quickly. And the jars need to be cleaned. Everything you use needs to be cleaned too. Great question.
So is the ratio the same for other hardeners like coconut oil or whatever?
No, the ratio for, well, when you do coconut oil, the coconut oil is actually what you want to infuse your herbs into. The other ones have really different ratios. So and there's information out there on all the different herbs there. So I think we're gonna make 2 cups today. So I'm gonna start by, I'm just gonna mix this so I can be sure that we're getting all the whole complex of medicines here. And we're gonna do 2 cups of oil. Maybe 16, that's 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're actually going to do 3 cups of oil. So if we do 3 cups of oil, because this, so we're going to, see, math.
Yeah, I was going to say, make math all the time.
We're going to, oh my gosh, we're going to do 3 cups of oil. So we're going to just start with 2 cups there, and then we're going to do another cup here. Hey, Jamali.
Hi, Michelle.
Which puts us at 3 cups of oil. So if we do 3 cups of oil, and we have shredded this, and it's a 1/4 cup, so it'll be 3/4 cups is what we're going for, right? Let's see, 1/4 cup, 3/4 cups. So we're gonna just start with that. And then I'm gonna press it.
This salve will work on my knee.
Yeah. This salve. This salve is great for healing wounds. The Comfrey in this salve, if you have an internal, like a tear or something,
Yes.
the Comfrey will be really great for that. There are other herbs that you could do for like pain management, which would be great to add into this, like arnica, which is a blood mover. It moves, it moves circulation. That's one of the things with the knees, is that it doesn't have its own blood supply. So you get all these tendons, ligaments, and need like nutrients, and right. So kind of a so there's other things that you could put into it as well. So we're just gonna wait for that to heat up, and then that looks like, if I press it down, it's a little bit, that looks about the amount that we want. Okay. I even, so let's see, what else can we do here?
So if you were to have the measuring cup, would you use a measuring scale? Because you also said weight.
Yeah,
sometimes.
you could do the oil by scale. I have this tiny little kitchen scale that I use, and I can turn it on, and then I can do units. It does like ounces and grams and all that kind of stuff. So I do sometimes use the scale. If I would have brought another pan, we would have melted the wax first and figured out the weight first, but that's more math than I think I can handle. So let's do this. Let me show you how to, since we've talked about it, let's make an infused oil. So I have some mugwort here that I have harvested, and I have this clean jar, and I want to make an infused oil. So this has been hanging in a bundle. It's dried, and this was harvested in a very reverent way. And this, I will use this oil for doing body work, because there's something in Chinese East Asian medicine called moxa, which is mugwort and a few other herbs that mugwort is very antimicrobial. It moves a lot of blood. It's great for smudging and cleansing spiritually. It's great for cleansing. It's one of the great herbs for like mastitis. If a mother has inflammation in the breast while she's breastfeeding, this is a great herb to make tea out of and to do poultices, to put it onto the breast itself. So I'm just gonna fill this little cup here with some mugwort.
That's what we have growing at the garden over there at the
Yeah. And so the neat thing about these herbs is that all of them came from my garden or from from our land here. The yarrow, the mugwort, and the yarrow and the mugwort came from Scotts Valley Creek. The calendula came from my garden, and this stand of calendula has moved with me about 7 times, and I've been growing this same calendula from the parent plant for about since 2008. So plants evolve with us. So I think that this mugwort also, the calendula also has a lot of has evolved with me. So this particular the calendula and the comfrey since 2008, I'm sure. So they have medicine specifically. They have evolved with me and adapted to my needs, and I've adapted to their needs because I've been able to, keep them to kind of cultivate them in a way that they keep going and keep giving and sharing their gifts with me. So it's kind of a neat thing when you get a relationship going with a plant or a stand of plants like there. So the St. John's wort that is in here, I've harvested the St. John's wort on summer solstice from the same place for the last, since 2019. So this is the thing, is like this to me is really, herbalism is so much more than just medicine making. It's part of my spiritual path, and it's really just one of the most important parts of my life. And what the plants have taught me, one of the things that I love that the plants have taught me, is that they get to be medicine for us, and we get to be medicine for them, but we also get to be medicine for everything, for others and for the earth. Just like how each plant has a different chemical composition, we all have our own little personal composition of our skills, our interests, the way. Oh, look, there's another plant in here. She came too. She wanted to say hi. This is the Yerba Santa. Thank you, Yerba Santa. And this plant also has a resin. Don't eat too much of it. It also has a resin, but this plant's a really important respiratory herb. I also harvested this from that same place. This plant is a great respiratory herb. This plant also has one of those resins like I was talking about. This is a really important herb for fire season, along with mullein, lobelia, and the usnea in our area. See, those are some of the herbs that are here that are here to help us, especially like during fire season, to help with our respiratory. So, well, that's fun. Surprise! Right? Yerba Santa.
It's great.
Have you used it?
Yeah, it's a holy weed. They call it holy weed too, but it grows everywhere out here. You can use it as like the texture of it's gummy, so you can use it as like little band-aids.
Yeah,
and, you put it in water and you do effervescence, and it'll clear your lungs up. There's a lot of uses for that.
Great. Thank you for sharing. That's great.
Good job.
Now we have making infused oil. Clean this up. Let's see how the oil's doing. So now we're making an infused oil. Let's see what the temperature is of this oil. It's warming up. So we're good. So I don't know if I have enough extra virgin olive oil. So this is an infused oil, so I have a clean jar. I'm filling it with herbs so that there's still a little bit of space on top, but it's not to the top and it's not packed full. And then I'm gonna take my organic extra virgin olive oil. And I'm gonna just fill this jar up. So this is a mugwort oil. Like I said, I'm gonna make a dream balm because I do dream work also, and recording my dreams and want to be present in my dreams. And this opens us up to our dreaming life. I mean, we spend at least a third of our life dreaming, so might as well be conscious in it. And plants really help to bring us there. I might not have enough oil to
Oh, you're doing fine. It's filling.
It's gonna go. There we go. I also brought some coconut oil. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a little bit of space on the top there. And then where is the other thing? I brought another little
Cup.
cup. Yeah, I did. I
Did
brought
you have
a
the
little-
calendula in it?
That's right, the metal one?
No, a little teacup. Hold on.
There's a teacup in there.
Where is it?
On the table, sitting up by that pink flower.
Oh, there it is. Good eye, good eye. So I like to use the ceramic because it doesn't really mess with the pH of the oil. I like to use wood. I like to use glass. I like to use the oil. I don't necessarily like to store my herbs in oil. I used the stainless steel one last time because it was all that I had available to me. But today I'm going to use this one. It's ceramic. And I'm just going to put it in there upside down. Give it a little press. Oops. See? Yeah. And then give it a little press so that it presses down the oils. Okay. Do that. I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to put my lid on. While that's heating up, I'm going to put my lid on. And then, one of the most important things in herbalism, who knows what it is? What's the most important thing in real estate?
Location.
Location. That's right. In herbalism, it's label. Label. Really freaking important.
With a date or
With the date and everything?
Yeah.
Description, date.
Oh, you know what? Silly me. I'm so ahead of myself that guess what? Already made a label. So it has mugwort, 722 the month, and then EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna just spray that out and put this on there. And then this, I'm gonna sing to it. I'm gonna let it hang out with my other oils and my plants. I'm gonna pray with it. I'm
Shake
gonna
it.
envision. I'm gonna shake it. I'm gonna dance with it, and laugh with it, and all the other things. And then in a month from now or so, I'm gonna separate the herbs out so that I have the oil. And this will be both used for body work. I use some infused oils in my practice here in Tribal Health, and then I'll also use some to make a dream balm, which will have some other herbs. Oh, this is kind of fun. Oh yeah, so usually in my dream balms I use mugwort, lavender, salud, chamomile, blue lotus, the passion flower, and then I'll put some essential oils in like ylang ylang and the sweet orange. I've made a heart balm where I've used rose and borage and calendula, and I've made a really great pain knee herb salve with some cayenne peppers, some dandelion. Dandelion's always, the flowers are also really great for the nerves. St. John's wort and arnica. So those are 3 examples of different ways you can formulate.
What's the cayenne pepper for?
The cayenne is a rubefacient. It brings blood flow into the area. So that you have to be really careful with it because you don't want to get it in your eyes or any of your sensitive parts and tissues. All right, let's see where the temperature of this is. Yeah, I think that's good. So now I'm going to put most of the oil in. or of the beeswax. How are we doing on time? Anybody? What time is it?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
What are you doing?
Perfect.
Fine.
We're doing
Where are
fine.
we going?
So I'm gonna put that much in, and then I'm gonna leave. Maybe I'll put one more flake. I'm gonna leave that much out. So the oil's in there now. I'm just gonna continue to kind of stir it and check in on it because I want it to melt and become one. Now, there's a cool little trick that's gonna happen is that in this water bottle here, I have ice and I have a spoon. And the way that I check the consistency of my tincture is that when all the oil is melted into there, I'm gonna take some, put it onto the spoon and put it and let it sit on ice and let it cool. And then for a few moments, then we'll take it out and let it kind of room temp or ambient temp out. And then we'll feel it and decide, do we want more wax? Do we want more oil? Right? So we have more wax, we have more oil. We have plenty of jars. And that's the thing with herbalism is that there's always so many variants. There's so many predictable unpredictables that you want to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
And it's also really good to keep a journal because some people get like people who formulate and have businesses, they have exact formulations. So you can start to create your own formulas. And then there's been like I always make oils and I'll use them on people and they'll be like, remember when I bought that stuff from you for pain back in like 2018? What was that? I want that. And I can't necessarily reproduce it. Sorry. So this is in the double boiler and it looks like it's starting to melt. It's at the right temperature. The water is really hot, but it's not quite boiling. Usually a slow, soft boil. Like I said, I have another set that I use only for herb making, and it's the glass double boiler. So if you ever find one of those in a thrift store or something, I highly recommend getting it because you can see the water, you can see into the pan, you can see what's happening. Y'all are welcome to come up and take a look at this just to see what's happening in here.
I'm excited.
The
Yeah.
alchemy. See how
yes.
it's starting to soften and melt into that. So we have infused oils, medicine, we have a hardener, and then we have our jars already set up. Has anyone here made a salve before?
No.
Awesome. This is great. Who thinks they'll actually go on to make a salve? Yes. I love this. I love this. I love this. All right. So in your handouts, I had just kind of like a brief summary of what we're doing today. And then on the back page or the second page is a list of all kinds of different herbs. And then on the back, then there's, I have this thing here, the herbal on the back. The herbs came out of this packet here. My fingers are super oily. I'm not going to touch much, but the herbs came out of there. So there's some great information on there. That's a really fun one. And so salve making is a really great way to make this. Like I said in the beginning, you take it with you, it preserves the oil. When we go to put this in the jar, there's some additional things additional additives you can put in. You can put in vitamin E oil, which acts twofold. It acts as a preservative, and it's also really great for the skin. You can put in essential oils right at the end. You can put in, some people will put like a crystal or stone in because they have vibrations, and those vibrational patterns are also medicine for us. It's earth medicine as opposed to plant medicine, right? Ooh, this is almost there. Yeah, they have their vibrational field, and that's medicine, and so you can infuse that into here. And then there's another thing called flower essences. Anyone familiar with flower essences? Yeah, one goes on like that. So flower essences, I'm gonna just give the quick dirty lowdown on this. You can put flower essences into them. My other major love in herbalism is flower essences. And flower essences, each flower has a vibrational path. This is kind of advanced and like a little bit esoteric herbalism, so I'm going on a little tangent here, bear with me. Each flower has an energetic field around it, and that energetic field actually has a pattern, like a sacred geometry pattern, you know, and that, like that can like it looks awesome. And there's a
Fibonacci.
what's that?
Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, there's a Fibonacci sequence around many of them, which is the circle. It's like the perfect balance, right? And so, interestingly enough, the energetic field around a particular flower matches the energetic field of a particular emotion. So we have, like, for example, I got some borage from the garden over here. Borage is for courage. Borage really does imbue and strengthen the emotion of courage. Rose really strengthens the heart space, the emotion, the emotion. It's like it softens grief and it enlivens joy. Comfrey, it softens grief and enlivens joy. Comfrey, right? So all the flowers have their own essence, their own essential vibration. So I actually brought a set of flower essences here. So the flower essences get preserved. The flower essences also get infused and preserved. These are infused into brandy, so these are all different flowers. So you can actually put some of these into your essences or into your salves as well, like the heart balm one or the dream balm one. So you can make balms into balm salves into something really for spiritual, for the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual aspects of the body. So this medicine can really go beyond the skin. Oh my gosh, we're down to like 2 little blips.
So
All right,
those
so I think we're at
flower
the
essences that you have over there, they've already been preserved.
yeah, those are preserved. The way the flower essences are made is the flower, and the first you pray over the flower, like these plants that I've built a relationship with for a decade plus. The first thing in the morning, there's like a plant that I've been praying with and I've been sitting with and I've been harvesting, cultivating and receiving and sharing medicine with it for years, and finally I want to make a flower essence out of it. So in the first thing in the morning, or I get up earlier in the morning before the sun even comes up and I'm praying, I'm sitting with the plant, we're communing and we're talking, we're hanging out, and then I set spring water that comes straight out of the earth that's never been touched by the hands of human into a bowl that I only use for flower essence making. I get the flower into it, and so there's water, flower, and then the sun goes onto it, and the sun imprints that energetic field into the water, and then 4 drops of that is preserved in the alcohol. So unlike essential oils where it takes a bunch of plant medicine to make a little bit of oil, flower essences take a little flower to make a bunch of medicine.
I was
So
just curious why into, what did you say, alcohol?
there's a lot of different preservatives you can use, but mostly they're preserved into alcohol, apple cider vinegar, and vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin is really sweet. Apple cider vinegar is vinegary. Those two don't have as long as a shelf life. And for people with either a history of alcohol, fatty liver, or alcoholic fatty liver, those types of things, you can use the other two. You don't want to use the sugar, the glycerin for diabetes.
Yeah.
But with the alcohol, a great thing, and it's debatable, but you could do like hot water and put it into there, and then the essence will still be in the water, but the alcohol evaporates off. So there's a lot of different ways to achieve your goal in medicine making, in herbal medicine making. Great questions. Thanks so much for all these questions, and I love them. So let's do the test. So, like I said, I have a spoon. We're gonna get a little bit of this oil, and we're gonna just set it in here and let it chill out.
That's a very quick trick to know whether it's ready or not to do that.
Yeah.
Does it work with a bowl of ice too? Is that
Yeah, I usually just put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
So this is my simulated fridge. This is my Kenmore. Awesome. All right. What else? Who's medicine healing story that they'd like to share with us. Anyone? Or an experience of using plant medicine. Yeah, is it Kim? Yes, Kim.
I burned my hand quite badly, and I took, I think it was coconut oil, and I poulticed a bunch of lavender, and then I put it on. I posted kind of on my burn, and it went away so quickly, better than even a Sylvadine would treat it. It was wonderful.
Lavender for burns is awesome. Thank you for that story. That's a great example of how we can use herbs topically to heal, right? So lavender for burns, who would have guessed? Most of us know lavender as like, oh, it's like the chill pill, right? It's calming, lavender, but you can use it for burns. It's I always put it when I make burn salves. I always put it in the burn salve.
I usually carry around lavender essential oil for anything, whether burns or bites or.
Yeah.
I even have used it like when I got an infection in my eye. I didn't put it in my eye, but I rolled it around my eye. The lavender essential oil kind of burns a little bit, but I love lavender.
It's antimicrobial, antiviral, antioxidants.
Okay, who wants to come feel it? Just a little press. You can feel that. There's our salve. Yeah, dig in. Good, feel it. Feel the body of it. Like, yeah, just feel the texture. I like that texture a lot. Yeah. Bueno. Look at those nails and ascension. Like those. That's so good. Yeah, it's fun. It is. And I do have some lavender essential oil. If anyone, if we can decide as a group together, or if you want it in your jar, because you know you're gonna get a little. Here, honey, feel this.
Exciting.
So we can do some lavender also, if anyone wants. Does anyone want to sit with this and rub it on their dance with it? Okay.
Do the Macarena.
Does that feel good to everyone?
Yeah.
That's a nice texture. I don't think we need any more. It wasn't too hard.
That's when you would add more like oil, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't too hard, which is nice because we want it to still absorb into the skin. Not just like.
Yeah. Whenever you're said to dance with the thing, to say just do the Macarena with it.
Yeah. Alright. Yes, I know the Macarena. It's true. Okay. So now, I already have our jars ready. But what's the most important thing in herbalism? Label. So, so I have labels and markers here. I wish I would have cut these up a little bit. So I'm just going to pull 3 sheets out. So feel free to
Sonia has a nice
to share them.
Do you want me to?
Oh, people can make their own label.
Do you want me to cut them out?
Yeah. Do you have scissors?
No.
I meant to bring some. I don't think I did. It's okay. I'm not worried because this box of this will be shredded. So we'll put 4 of these out. Y'all can grab a marker. And so what information might you want to put on this? You might want to put the date, what it is, the herbs. You can name it, like my LCTHC salve. The date, what it is, what's in it, extra virgin olive oil, and those 5 herbs, which were Comfrey, Calendula, Lavender, St. John's wort, and Yarrow. So, it's a lot.
Would you say I'm one?
That's good. Here. Smaller pen.
Lavender, Comfrey, Calendula, Yarrow, and St. John's wort.
Thank you.
Probably have to.
So I had the herbs already infused into oil, and then we used this to press them out. And this is the mix of the oils that we put in, and then we put melted the oil into here.
I'll call
And
him.
now we're gonna put them into our jars.
I don't even know what to call it. Again. Let's see what we got.
Did anyone else's herbal stories come up for them? Anyone else got a herbal story to share?
Now, when I had COVID, I used eucalyptus steam inhalations and eucalyptus in my bath, and
I did
eucalyptus
too.
is awesome.
I also used the white sage,
Yeah.
and it was a game changer. I feel like it really broke up the stagnation and opened up my airwaves. I would have loved to have had some of that resinous yerba santa.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is it's not a salve or anything, but I would say every morning, every night, I burn a little Palo Santo. I love that stuff. It just relaxes me, you know?
Yeah.
Palo Santo? Yeah, I usually just do the air baths, you know?
Yeah.
So a healing salve, and then...
You know, it's like smudging. It's a really great form of medicine.
Yeah,
because
I don't know. I guess like over, you can do like different kinds of baths. Like there's the air, there's a fire bath. You can do, you know, the cleansing with the water. You know, good water.
Yeah, so many different ways to apply medicine. I love foot baths. I have an old enamel foot bath, and I will
St.
put
John
essential
wort,
oils and
calendula,
flower
Comfrey,
essences
Yarrow,
and
and Lavender.
plants.
Oh yeah.
Just pour them into it.
Yep.
And did Wyatt give you what I left? Okay.
So Michelle,
And
do you
were able
typically
to
use
see
olive
from the-
oil?
Yeah,
I typically
working on
use
it. Yeah,
olive
I
oil.
started with
Do
a
you?
few trying to.
I
germinate.
love olive
Okay.
oil. The other one that I really love.
If those don't work, let me know. There's Michael works here, and he has a bunch of
starters?
One of these,
not starters,
the caps.
but he didn't have any starters. I asked him, and so he says he did have seeds.
The lid, if you want to, the lids are over there in a bag. And I think I also have some little round. Yeah.
Hold on, that's my bag.
Today's 8.
Okay.
I don't know. When I was a kid, I was supposed to pick seaweed. My grandfather and my grandmother took me to. And we hopped out of this van, and I got to start every bare snow. I don't know what he had, but he actually wrapped the seaweed with the salve on my leg. I don't know what he had, but it looked homemade.
So one of my, and
Sure, yeah.
seaweed. Sandra, what's your mom's name? Sandra. I'm sorry.
Donna?
Donna. Donna.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot your name. I know you. Donna and I are both seaweed harvesters. And one of the salves that I am famous for making is a salve for breast cancer patient survivors. And in it is bladderwrack, which is a seaweed. It looks like a little palm. They're about this big. And they actually have a bladder. And inside the bladder is a mucilage that is amazing. And that mucilage pulls the radiation, pulls the heat from the radiation out of the tissues, and it soothes the skin in a really awesome way. The other herbs, that I put into there are red clover, calendula, and Comfrey. So yeah, that's a great example, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It never scarred as bad as I would think. You can kind of still see it. I touched the exhaust pipe on the van.
Yeah, I have a burn like that on my leg from the motorcycle. Oops.
Yeah, so he pulled something out that he had in a jar, and then he wrapped it with the seaweed, which was kind of big. So, but as a kid, as long as it didn't hurt, oh man. And when they took me to the doctor, they said I had a third-degree burn, but it looked like it was healing well already. And I was like, oh, never did ask him. My grandparents made baskets and did all that stuff.
Cool. What was your other favorite oil? It was my other favorite oil, I really love almond oil. Thank you. Because of massage therapy that I do. So I like to use these Pyrex with the handle because then you can kind of put it back. You can hang it on the pot with a double boiler, and there. You guys, this is amazing. The perfect amount. That never happens. So I'm gonna just pull this one out so that we can kind of watch it. We'll watch it burn.
And you'll have to see it from the bottom already.
Starting, yeah. That's perfect. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The mat goddesses have smiled down upon me today.
And was this the Yarrow, Comfrey, St. John's, Lavender, and Calendula?
Yeah, this is the oil that we did. So, who know, like Deb Johnson, who works at Tribal Health? She's one of, I think, she works with you. She's the tobacco.
No, that was she works with behavioral health.
Behavioral health. She works with behavioral health. So Deb Johnson and I, we went out on the solstice and we harvested the St. John's wort. And so we sang this song, and I would like to teach you guys a song that I like to sing when I'm making medicine, when I'm harvesting medicine, when I'm working with the plants. And it's really simple. And I actually learned it from this chorus named Beautiful Chorus, and they sing affirmations. It's really lovely. I love their music and their vocalizations. But the song's really simple, and it's called Thank You. And it goes like this. Join me if you'd like, or just listen. It goes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your medicine, thank you for your medicine. Your medicine lives on in me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we could say thank you for your medicine, thank you for your wisdom, thank you for your glory. But let's do that with the thank you for your medicine again. So it goes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your medicine. Sing again. Thank you for your medicine. Your medicine lives on in me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So one of the things in medicine making that's really important is reverence. It's really important to know that even though, a lot of this stuff is like store-bought and whatever, a lot of it, I try to buy the best quality products that are made with the highest of intentions, because it's all medicine. So all of these, everything here has been like blessed multiple times and cleansed, and just really it's all part of the medicine. So it's really important to imbue that into the medicine that you make. So, a couple other things. Let's see. I have a gift for you guys. I brought calendula seeds, so you're all welcome to have some calendula seed.
Thank you so much.
And then I also wanted to just show you a couple samples of some other salves. This one is a botanical salve, right? Check this label out. Botanical salve. We know what it is. We don't know what's in it. We don't know when it was made, but it was made with love by one of my dear friends, and I'm almost out of it. I'm almost done with it. This one was made by this guy named Jeffrey, and he's got amazing salves. It's called Dragon Balm, B-A-L-M, Dragon Balm, and he infuses CBD, cannabis, some herbs, and a bunch of other things into here. He has a bunch of other things that he makes too, but this is his product, and he sells this, and this is amazing. I have used this on myself, and can feel a difference like right off the bat. His products are amazing. Yeah.
Can I please take a whiff of that?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It doesn't smell like cannabis so much. And then this one is one that I've made. It's called a breast balm. And so it's apricot oil, castor oil, beeswax, and essential oils of rose geranium and wild orange. So castor oil is a really great oil to use because it penetrates.
Yes.
Yeah, I use the castor oil on my hair. I use castor oil and rosemary and put it in my hair and have a, especially after having COVID, because your hair kind of falls out. And I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
gotta start doing that. And then in things internally too.
Yeah,
And
castor
then-
oil. You could put like for people with glaucoma, if you put just like a
yes.
pin drop in the eye at night, and then it gets into the eye, it's really helpful because it penetrates deep and then it softens. You can do castor oil packs on your liver, where you put the castor oil on flannel and then put it on and then put a heating pad, and it penetrates deep and softens the liver. So like fatty liver, it's great. Castor oil, like it does a million cures. It's like duct tape. It's like yarrow and all the other herbs and all the things that do a million things. It's one of those things. So we can see here, see our progress.
Nice.
It's doing good. So, I think that's my presentation for today. I brought some books that are great resources if you want to take some time to look around. Any other? Yeah, Kim.
What about our last question? I'm sorry. What was your breast salve again? You had the
Oh yeah. Castor oil, apricot oil. It was mostly apricot oil and then a little bit of castor oil, beeswax, and then essential oils of rose geranium and wild orange. I have fibrocystic breasts, so I created this one for myself because I do breast massage at night. My breasts get fibrous, like get little lumps depending on if I drink caffeine, if I had chocolate, what my hormones are doing, So, but this has really helped to just balance the tissues. So it's been pretty amazing to have that. Yay!
Do you sell your salve?
I don't sell anything anymore. I have closed my private practice. I'm not making medicine. I'm just the acupuncturist at Tribal Health.
Yay!
Sharing your knowledge. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you for joining us for our garden class. This was wonderful. We learned so much. Thank you, Michelle, for teaching us all this. And thank you for joining us. Please fill out the survey that is included with this video. Okay, thank you very much.